I had it all wrong and I didn't even realize until life sat me down and humbled me. I always used to think that just because I had the vision and I could see my vision as clear as a day, that life was going to happen for me. But unfortunately, I came to realize that life doesn't work that way. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing fine. Thank you for joining me once more. To my new viewers, to my returning viewers, welcome back. Please, while you're at it, please like this video if you haven't, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But today I want us to touch on something that took me years to understand. So to any young dreamer or any dreamer out there who is interested in hearing what I have to say, please just stick by and hear what I have to say. But let's get right into today's video. So for the longest time when I was coming up of age, I always thought that life was just going to happen for me, because I could see my vision as clear as a day from when I was a very little girl without having so much sense of the world or even sense of what I was saying. I had always said, and because it felt so real, like you are watching a movie on a 65-inch screen and it's so clear, you can see everything. I just felt like life was going to happen for me, that I wasn't going to fail. I could visualize the life I wanted, the freedom, the impact, the beauty of it all. And I just thought that, for all these reasons, life has to work out for me, that God would not give me what is not going to happen for me. So I held on to this belief because it was like, the way I'm looking at you guys right now is the way I could see the vision. It's like, it's just here and all I need to do is just reach out my hand to grab it. So for some weird reason, I was in this delusion that regardless of what was to happen, life was going to happen for me because I could see it. But unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. I waited, I visualized, I journaled, I was manifesting anything you could think of. I was doing it, but the thing I wasn't doing was putting in the work. I wasn't having any strategy, I wasn't having any goals. I just knew what I was going to be. I knew what I saw. So I had so much confidence that if I could see all these things, like I could feel it in my spirit, I could feel it in my bones, it was just going to happen. But unfortunately, once more, life doesn't work that way. So if you're currently in that phase in your life where you feel like your dream is just too beautiful, too realistic for it to not happen, and you decide not to do anything, hoping and believing that somehow, some way, life is going to happen, unfortunately, you've got to make life happen for you. So let's get into how I came into this mindset, or how I got my reality check. For a long time, after thinking, waiting, believing that everything was going to happen, time was passing. I could see people achieving their dreams, and sometimes when I'm alone, because for the most part of my life, I've always been alone. So I had all the time to think, to visualize, to dream, to imagine. So sometimes I would see people online achieving things that I wanted to achieve or I knew I could achieve. Sometimes I could even do way better. And I'll just be at home saying to myself that, I'm just going to wait. When it's my time, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be like this. Well, I wasn't necessarily doing anything. And for some reason, it made sense to my old self, to my old mindset. So I just kept on going about life. It was like a loop. Today, I could manage to get something that I had dreamed and hoped for. But I've come to the understanding and realization that if I dream to reach 1 billion subscribers on YouTube, there's a high possibility that I could get to 1,000 subs or 100,000 subs without any goal, strategy, not necessarily so much into it. And sometimes it can leave us with this skewed view that it's going to all work out, that things will just keep playing out because we've been able to get what we want from this part, manifest this, manifest that, and it leads us into that delusion that is how life is going to be. But that is not how life is going to be. Sometimes, this is me personally speaking, I feel that life just happens for us in ways that sometimes things that we dream of, sometimes they play out without us even really necessarily putting in the work, if I'm making any sense. And so that is such a dangerous mindset because it leaves you believing that if I could get this thing, this one will also come, while you're not necessarily doing anything. Some of us are even waiting for other people or waiting on other people to help us achieve our dreams, our goals, to realize our visions, without understanding that in the grand scheme of things, if you you want something tangible from life, if you want that dream life that you envision, that you've seen, you've got to put in the work. It's not just about having faith. You have to put in the work. You can't have faith and not put in the work, or put in the work and not have faith. It doesn't go on its own. They both go together, because faith is what will give you the why, and then the action will give you the how. The faith, why am I having faith? I'm having faith because I believe that everything is going to work out for me. I believe that I'm going to be a global sensation in this world. Putting in the action now is, how do I become a global sensation in this world? What do I need to do? What strategy do I need to follow? What goals do I need to set for myself? What ways do I have to handle myself, carry myself? All these things matters. And when you get into the why, it gives you room for strategy, how to go about things. Okay, if I want to get to 1,000 subs right now, what do I need to do that will get me to 1,000 subs? Even before the 1 billion subs, you need to start little by little. And it's in that how that eventually you tend to break things little by little by little by little by little. That is why it is said step by step, one step every day. And then life just started becoming more overwhelming. I started becoming impatient, and for some reason, the best way I could explain this is my dream, my vision, my calling kept getting strong and stronger. It's like a voice in your head or your mind that keeps calling out to you, calling out to you. But the more and more time is going, the more the intensity increases, the more the voice increases, the more everything increases. So it's like I got to a point that I was like, I really need to see this happen right now. I need to get to this point in my life where I'm able to see all these things I see for myself manifest into reality. How do I go about that? This is who I want to be in the future. This is what I want to accomplish. These are the impacts I want to have on this world. How do I go about it? You know, it got me to a point where for the first time in my life, and before that, one thing you have to remember is you have to be open-minded in everything you do in this world or life. You have to be open-minded. If you're not open-minded, a closed view or a closed mindset will hinder you from knowing so many things, from learning certain things, from unlearning certain things. So the first thing I did was to be open-minded. The next thing I did was to start understanding the world for what it was, what would require of me to become that version, because currently I'm not that version that I see. Even though you see that version, you're not that version, and it will take a lot for you to become that person. So even that on its own, being able to see, okay, this is my vision. Having the vision is one thing. Being able to know how to go about the vision or how to materialize it is another thing. And then when we talk into the strategies, because you can know how to become, for example, I can know how to become a fashion icon. Well, how do I become it? You know, it's one thing for you to be like, okay, I want to be the greatest fashion icon of this world. But how do you go about it? It's one thing to sit down and talk about it. It's another thing to see it, because the tricky thing about visions is you see it like you're watching a movie. Sometimes it feels so real that you can feel the emotions, you get the goosebumps, you can literally feel yourself in that realm, even though you're not in that realm. So it always leaves us in that delusion that things will work out one way or the other, because that vision or that dream is too big and too beautiful for it not to happen, especially when it's a real occurrence. You keep seeing and seeing and seeing it. So that is why today I was like, you know what, I need to touch on this, because I feel like a lot of people are also in that mindset that I once was. And if you don't have someone to necessarily tell you or show you the way, I feel like sometimes we can be left in our delusion without putting in the work. And one thing about this life is, to achieve anything, you need time. Having an advantage of time is one of the greatest things you can ever do for yourself. But this is not to say it's ever too late to do anything. People are starting things in their 40s, their 50s. It doesn't matter. So long you are alive, you're healthy, guys, there's nothing impossible. Anything you think is impossible today is because it hasn't been broken yet. It's because that person, to be able to make it possible, has not been able to get there. That is why I once say in one of my old videos that some of our greatest icons on this planet are yet to manifest. Some of them are in their building stage. Some of them have not even started the building stage. Some of them do not even realize that they have such a calling. So guys, having an advantage of time is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself. And I wish I had known all of this when I was younger. I feel like I would have had an advantage of time. But I'm also someone who understands that everything happens for a reason, because trust me guys, if I had started, even if it's YouTube, earlier on, just because I thought I would have had advantage of time, I would have not been able to keep going, because I'm currently 2 years on YouTube. And I can tell you guys with 100% certainty that if I had started before I started, I would have crashed. Eventually I would have crashed. So everything happens for a reason. But while you're at it right now, especially if you're currently in high school, university, guys, you have an advantage of time, because being able to come to the place where you can see your vision is a different thing. So being able to do all of that from early on, trying to figure out what you're good at, what's your calling, what's your talent, because talent is one thing. Talent cannot carry you further than you think without putting in the work, without having mastery. That is why people always talk about things like discipline, consistency, because all of those are what will actually give you mastery. That is why I said last week that there is no master without being a beginner first. So if you're in that point in your life where you feel or you truly believe that life is going to happen for you regardless, because of all you see in your dreams, the visions you have and all of that, I'm here to tell you that without putting in the work, that dream is not going to happen, or that future is not going to work out. No matter how clear your vision is, if your habits are messy, if your character is messy, you don't have any self-development, the future is not going to work out, guys. It's very important to understand that. To anyone who is going to listen to me, no matter how beautiful that vision is that you see, if you don't work on yourself, that is why I'm a firm avid believer of self-development. Because guys, the story of how I was able to get out of that mindset to be in the mindset that, you know what, I'm tired, because it got to a point where I was like, you know, I'm tired of seeing this thing, because I could hear it see guys, the only time I don't see my dreams and vision is when I'm sleeping, and that is also debatable, you know. So it's like it got me so impatient. Like I just needed to see that thing happen, and that was how everything started out for me. And that is how I came into self-development, you know, trying to figure out how life works and then being able to operate in the life. So I'm just here to speak to anybody who cares to listen to me, because I feel, or I wish I had someone then who could talk to me or could help say some of these things I'm saying. I feel like even not for the YouTube, life would have been, I would have advanced a bit more than I am currently. So this is not to discourage anyone or to tell you that, oh, that dream you're saying is not going to happen if you don't do this, you know. I'm just here to tell you the reality of things that I came to realize for myself personally, that if you don't put in the work, nothing is going to happen. Having the faith, having the belief is not enough. Faith without action is dead. In religion too, we also see that faith without action is dead. Faith gives you the why, action gives you the how. And guys, your dreams need discipline, structure, knowledge, and consistency. These four things: discipline, structure, knowledge, consistency. Guys, you need to be disciplined. And you being disciplined can never be taught. I can never teach you how to be disciplined. It's either you're ready to be disciplined or you're not ready to be disciplined. Having structure, no one can help build a structure for you. Everything I'm mentioning, guys, unfortunately, to be able to realize or actualize your dreams and visions, everything falls on you solely. Single-handedly, everything falls on you. So to be able to get structure is also all up to you. You are the one who is able to create that structure for yourself. For knowledge, you cannot thrive in ignorance. I always say this: you can never thrive in ignorance. What you don't know is bigger than you. So you have to be open-minded and to be willing to be knowledgeable, especially in our fast world currently, our world that has gone beyond the boundaries of technology, that keeps pushing the boundaries of technology. There are so many things online for you to be able to educate yourself on, to be able to learn. So aside being open, you have to go in search of that knowledge. No knowledge is going to come to you, unfortunately. You have to go in search of that knowledge. Read books, talk to people, get conversant with what is happening in your country as a global world. Try to understand what's going on in Japan, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, North America, South America. Just try, even if it's little knowledge, just try and be knowledgeable in everything. And then above all, the last thing will be consistency. Guys, consistency is just I don't know, that also as well. All these things, no one can teach you, no one can motivate you, no one can encourage you. You've just got to be willing to do it yourself. It's either you're ready or you're not ready. The version of me I saw in my vision, she wasn't just dreaming. She was moving with intention. She was feeling forward. She was reading. She was strategizing. She was showing up. She was making progress. She was taking feedback, and she was doing uncomfortable things. And that is who I am becoming right now. And I just want to encourage anyone listening to me to join me on this journey for us to become the best versions of ourselves. And that is why I constantly speak on self-development, because you cannot achieve your dream life without self-development. And self-development in itself is just like the head, because so many things falls into self-development, like self-awareness, knowing better, unlearning things, learning things, changing your mindset shift. All of these things are intertwined into self-development. Knowing how to show empathy, knowing how to carry yourself, knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to dress, knowing how to address things, knowing how to work with your emotions. All of these things are all under self-development. So when someone talks about self-development, we're not just saying, okay, to be a better person just for being a better person. Being a better person runs through or spills into so many other aspects, like our work, our relationships with our friends, family members, acquaintances, colleagues, fellow workers. You know, it spills into every aspect of our lives, and self-development never comes to an end. So if you're willing to make something out of life, or willing to achieve that dream of yours, guys, you've got to be willing to put in the work. It's one thing having the faith, is another thing to put in the work. So today I was just like, you know what, let me touch on this topic. Perhaps there's one or two persons listening to me today that is in that dilemma, that you see all these things, you imagine them, you can feel them in your gut, you feel them in your spirit, you feel them in your bones. But unfortunately, you're not necessarily doing anything because you just strongly believe that everything is going to work out for you. I don't want you to be in that mindset, wasting time, because the greatest thing you can do for yourself, or one can have for themselves, is having an advantage over time. So that is why I was like, you know what, let's touch on this topic. So guys, my question to you is, are you waiting for life to happen for you, or are you going after the life you want, or making life happen for you? This is a question I want you to ask yourself listening to me right now. Are you waiting for life to happen for you, or are you making life happen for you? Because the crazy thing about this our life is, even people without visions, without dreams, without goals, if they are willing to put in the work, they can reach a certain aspect to life, you know, a certain level to life, even without all of these things, just because they are putting in the action. So please do not be left behind because you refuse not to put in the action, and not just refuse in a sense just because you don't know any better, or you're not in that mindset to realize that it's not just about saying it, but actively going after the life you want. But anyways, guys, let's move into what I've been watching, what I've been listening to this week. So guys, for what I've been watching this week, I've really not had time to watch anything. So the only thing I've been watching will be Love Island UK, which is currently ongoing. And guys, I'm so tired of the character Harry. I wish he's home at this point in time. And I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand the ladies, some of the ladies in that villa who are interested in the Harry. Like, are you not saying, like, oh God, I just don't understand my gender, who are attracted to guys who are players. They just, the only thing they are excited or interested in doing is to follow every girl on planet. It's like, what exactly is attractive in that you're going after that, actively pursuing that, you know? So yeah, Harry, I don't know. Shakira as well, guys. This last episode where she had to break to corner that she wasn't feeling it, considering the fact that she was the one who even went to him with the idea, or I think was even the one who went to her. I can't remember, but yeah, that's all that has been happening. That, at least that has left an imprint on my memory on Love Island. And for Helena, I don't even know if I will say I feel bad for her, because I don't even know her problem. But anyways, guys, the next thing I've been watching would be YouTube. Actually, I would say I've been more invested on YouTube. That would be my favorite YouTubers. I've been catching up with Judy, the other YouTubers, my favorite that I've been listening to. So that's what I've been watching. But for the music this week, let me get my list. What's our music for this week? There's been a lot of new lit jams, you know. It's been so amazing music wise. So the first song I've been listening to will be Hot Body by Ira Star. Guys, Ira Star is just that, as her name implies, she's a star. You know, she's one of those people who would help us put Nigeria on the map. I just wish she's someone who could go global, because she has it in her. She has everything it takes, and I'm just rooting for her, you know, and she's good at it as well. And to an extent, or from what we're seeing, she knows what she's doing. So that's someone that I'm really rooting for. And this Hot Body is just a perfect summer jam. That song is like, it's like there's honey in the song, you know. It's giving everything you're supposed to give. All the teasers she has been releasing on X, or would I say I've been seeing mine on X, well, all the teasers, and then coming to listen to the song as a whole, it didn't disappoint at all. So yeah, Ira Star, Hot Body. If you've not given it a listen, give it a listen, and if you have, let me know what you think. The next on my list would be Bad Man Gangster by 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦𝐩𝐬. My own very fave. Oh god, guys, I don't know what else to say about 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦𝐩𝐬. Like, he is someone that blows my mind. He is someone that, if you understand him, understand his journey, he is someone who has been prepping for this moment all his life, and right now that he's there, he's taking or making use of every advantage he has. Like, you can tell that this was someone that prepared for where he was heading to, or the things we saw today are things that he has seen earlier on in life. So it's just so beautiful to see someone exude excellence like that, have mastery in their craft. And I know that I'm such a huge fan of 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦𝐩𝐬, and this might come as a biased opinion, but honestly guys, 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦𝐩𝐬 is an artist that I truly admire, because he is someone that has shown a great amount of dedication, resilience. He is knowledgeable, and that's someone who knows exactly what he wants, and is going for exactly what he wants as well, and he knows exactly who he is. So I'm just so excited for the release of his next album, which is titled Money. I just know that he's about to tell us his current life, and I feel like Mr. Money is in money right now, that everything we're just going to be getting is about money. That I feel like some people, it might come off as a show off to some people, but for people like me, guys, please just tell me everything, give me the ginger I need. That will help me, you know, the motivation. You know, I'm just so excited for his album, and the video as well is out for Bad Man Gangster featuring Tia. I don't know his name, let me not say what I don't know, but yeah, I'm yet to watch the video though. I'll do that after this video. But yeah, I'm just so excited for 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦𝐩𝐬, like Bad Man Gangster, a jam. The next on my list would be WWP EP. I don't know what the WWP stands for, by Tyler. The EP has 4 songs, and they are really nice, personally speaking. And all the songs, I've been able to add them to the respective playlists. Victoria's playlist. If you're new on my channel, I do have a playlist. Just go to my channel, there are lots of playlists. I also have music playlists for Victoria's playlist, where I include all my African songs I listen to, amapiano, Afrobeat, every African genre I love and listen to. I have V-Blues, where I add all the international artists I vibe and listen to. Then I also have the gospel playlist as well, where I include the gospel songs that inspires me and renews my spirit. Then the next on my list, or the last I've been listening to, would be Which One by Drake featuring Central C. That is also another jam that I really love and enjoy, and I've also added everyone I've spoken about on the playlist. Just give them a try and let me know what you think. If you've listened to any of these songs, please, I would love to hear your opinions in the comment section, and if you haven't, I want to encourage you to do that. But before we go into our quote of the week, guys, I would love to share what I've been reading. Earlier on, I've been talking about what I've been reading for like a few months now, and so far I've been able to read 8 books, and I'm currently on the 9th book. So far, this is book review. I've been able to read The Psychology of Winning, The Psychology of Money, The Psychology of Self-Discipline, The Alchemist, Deliberate Success, Seeds of Greatness, The Magic of Thinking Big, How to Stay Motivated During Tough Times, During Difficult Times. So in total, 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. I've read 8, and I'm currently on my 9th book, but I do have a goal for myself, guys. I said I was going to share this with you guys. I don't have a goal for myself. These are the books I was able to get in Nigeria, and my goal is to be able to finish all of this latest February 2026, if at all. And currently I'm on my 9th book, titled The Atomic Habits, and I've gotten halfway there already, so I have 11 more to go. I know I've said before on this channel that I don't read, but for some reason I was able to get into reading, and I'm currently on my 9th book. And I just want to encourage anyone listening to me to please get into reading if you can. It also ushers you into a different mindset, a different worldview, different perspective. You know, these books I have read have really helped shape my mindset in some aspects to life, giving me more in-depth in some of the things I knew or some of the things I thought I knew, you know. So yeah, I just want to encourage anyone to get into reading if you can. You're not going to regret it. And knowledge, as we discussed today, knowledge is very important. But anyways, guys, let's get into our quote for this week. What's our quote for this week? So guys, our quote for this week would be, your potential should terrify you, not because it's out of reach, but because it's there for the taking. You've seen glimpses. In the rare moments, you actually go all in, and deep down, you know what would happen if you stop playing small and give it everything. That's the scary part, not failure, but the fact that you're capable of so much more. It's like owning a Ferrari and refusing to take it out of first gear, and every day you don't act on it, you feel it. Quietly, heavenly, like a life you were supposed to live is waiting for you to show up. So just show the F up. And guys, this is our quote of the week. Just show up for yourself, and you'll be so amazed at to how much you can achieve and how much you can make life work out for you the way you want. So guys, just as I said earlier on, I just felt inspired to speak on this to anyone who cares to listen to me. Even if it's just one person or two persons, I'm okay with that. Just try and make something out of life. Life doesn't just end in what you can see, what you can visualize, your visions, your dreams. Just knowing that it doesn't end there, and for you to be able to build the future you want, you've got to put in the work. Just remember that it's okay to start late, it's okay to shift directions, but it's not okay to stay stuck in a dream that is calling you to come alive or make it happen. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me once more. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with any of your loved ones that you feel needs to hear this video, or share it on your social media platforms and tag me. All my social media handles are in the description box. You can go check out what I'm doing on other platforms. Share the video, tag me as well. I appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week.